I want to start by sharing my story. At the end of my fellowship, I was working very many hours. I was waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to go do research. I had to take care of patients. And as a result, I burned out myself. I was very tired. I had to take long sleeps starting from 6 p.m. till next 8 a.m. if I could. And I didn't have any energy to function. I developed something what I think was POTS. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's postural orthostatic tachycardia. I was ready to pass out if I stand too long. And as a result, I wasn't good for taking care of patients if I didn't do anything for myself. So I realized that it's super important to pay attention at what your body needs. I found practitioners who helped me to overcome that. I took tons of different supplements for a while, and eventually I got better. And I feel now better than what I was 20 years ago. So because of that, I felt that I want to share with you as a caregivers to children with Lowe syndrome. If you don't know anything and go to the Wikipedia, you see that Lowe syndrome is ocular, renal, cerebral syndrome. And what it means, it's X-linked. And because of that, some people may feel guilt from passing the genetics. Plus, they will be under a lot of emotional, financial stress, thank you, and time stress. If you continue reading, children may have temper, outbursts of different emotional stresses, and that adds to emotional toll and burnout to you as caregivers. The anxiety, depression in caregivers in kids with intellectual disability is very high, more common in women than in men, and of course that takes a toll. And then when you read that treatment is symptomatic and lifespan is rarely exceeds 40 years of age, that adds to grief. So because of all of that, I wanted to share how to deal with your day-to-day stresses and the functional medicine. So I practice functional medicine, even though I'm an endocrinologist. At this point, I actually see more thyroid patients, adrenal patients, patients with fatigue, patients with stress. But I feel that it's the same root causes that we need to address in order to get better. So our framework, we look at our genetics, at our stress and sleep, assimilation of nutrients, and you've heard probably about leaky guts, different toxicity, hormone disbalance. Middle-aged women are definitely prone for those, infections, and immune system. I'm not going to talk about every single thing because a lot of that needs to be done through physicians or providers, but what can you do for that? So we will start with stress. Stress is very common. We have physical stress, we have acute stress or chronic stress, we have emotional stress. And we have good stress, which is called eustress, or bad stress, which is like if somebody has bad bear, or if somebody has a bad day at work, or if you have a lot of emotional stress taking care of kids or loved ones, that could be chronic stress. So we have different stages of stress. You can see that we have stresses coming and going, up and down. You went, back in the ages, if you went outside, you saw a bear running after you, that's acute stress. But right now, we are more likely to have chronic stress of not having enough money, not having enough time, needing to take care of 10 different things. And that is the stress in the yellow, when we become in a stage of resistance. And we are trying to adapt to that situation. Our body is working hard to do that. Eventually, if stress is not managed, you can get to next stage, which is attempted adaptations. When your cortisol level starts going down, your other hormones starts going down. And eventually, you can get to the red stage. to exhaustion. Our goal is to prevent that and move back to resistance, adapted adaptation, and maybe even to homeostasis, to green stage. So this is very complex chemistry. I'm a geek. I love this type of stuff, but I don't expect you to know much about this. But it just shows how complex our management of stress. And we have different. So how does stress affect on your body? If you are stressed, you are more likely not to be able to fall asleep. And we'll talk about sleep a little bit more. We tend to gain weight. With that, we have more inflammation. And inflammation can be in different things. It can be in your joints, can be in your gut, can be in the brain. With all of that, your immune system becomes weak, so you are more susceptible to catch some cold. If you are in good stage, you may be okay passing through the tons of patients or tons of people with some upper respiratory infection. But if you are in the stress situation, you are more likely to catch that. So with all of this, our bodies start utilizing more vitamins and nutrients. And because of that, you become deficient. It's strange to see vitamin C deficiency, scurvy. But just last week, I found 3 patients who have vitamin C deficiency. Who checks for that at this point? But it happens because your vitamin C is important. It's important for your adrenal function, important for your collagen creation, skin, bones, and for immune system. And if you are at a lot of stress, you overutilize your minerals and vitamins, and you can become deficient. Add to that poor gut health, and that becomes additional problem. Why do we need those vitamins and nutrients? They are cofactors for our enzymes. And enzymes is machinery that runs your body, that makes you have good muscles, make you have good heart function, brain function, and so on. And if you don't have enough of vitamins and minerals, then your functioning, your creation of energy will go down, and you become tired, and you become non-productive. So with stress, we have change in parasympathetic, sympathetic tone. You probably have heard about vagal nerve. Vagal nerve stimulators are great. If anybody heard about or tried it, it's a wonderful thing. But if you are in more flight and fight, you are more likely to have your leaky guts, deficiency, autoimmunity, and anxiety and mood disorders. So we have lots of different coping skills. You can be self-soothing. You can talk to yourself. But you need to learn that. If you are not aware that you could do that, it's important to, yes, take picture. It's a good slide. So you could have self-soothing. You can get a distraction. Try to think about something good, something exciting. Do your knitting or crocheting or whatever crafts. For me, it's painting at this point. This is actually my painting that I was able to put on the clothing. So that's always fun. Then you can be emotionally aware of what's happening, because your emotion comes and goes. If you catch it in 1 second and say, stop, hold, breathe for 10 seconds, that emotion will pass. You don't have to act on that emotion. You can just let it go. Different mindfulness situations, meditations, praying, those are all examples of coping skills. And have a crisis plan. Decide whom are you going to talk if you are in a crisis situation. Are you going to talk to your best friend? Do you have any physician to call, or psychiatrist, psychologist, hotline? Have that in plan so you will be able to be prepared. So stress management starts with realization that there is a chronic stress. And on a rare left, I guess, on the left, you can see this, how much you can have control of. You have control of yourself, maybe a little bit of your partner and children, less so to extended family and friends, neighbors, and so on and so forth. So make sure to take control of yourself, because you are the one important. You are the one making your decisions, feeling the feelings, and you cannot be responsible for what your neighbor's doing, or what government is doing, or whoever else is doing, aliens somewhere they are doing. So that's why we just want to control of ourselves. And that's where you try to stress manage by doing those steps. Exercise is one of those very important steps. And before that, I'll go to Ho'oponopono. Anybody knows what is Ho'oponopono? No? It's Hawaiian mantra or prayer that is done like this. So take a picture of that. It's a very good one. Close your eyes. Imagine anybody you would like to heal your relationship with or change your memory. And after that, you repeat 2 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. And you can make it more personable. I'm sorry I am in this situation. I have a child with Lowe syndrome. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for all the experiences that it brings to me. Thank you for all the growth that I have during this process. So Ho'oponopono is a great tool, so please use that. The adaptogens. As a functional medicine practitioner, I love using different adaptogens. By now, I know which ones does what. I like to check people's cortisol level and other hormone levels, and I try to utilize them accordingly. Because depending on your situation, you may benefit from rhodiola or electrococo or Schisandra or maybe adrenal concentrate, but other situation, it may not be the best. Ashwagandha is more universal. It balances your adrenals. It's kind of, if it's too high, it will bring it down. If it's too low, it will bring it up. Of course, it doesn't mean it will help for people with actual adrenal insufficiency or actual Cushing's disease. But those adaptogens are great during that phase when you are in orange, yellow, or even down the road in crisis or in your stress management. The vitamins, you can see how different vitamins can help you out. And the MTHFR gene mutation and MTHFR folate, methyl tetrahydrofolate, is very special vitamin. At this point, it's given to people with treatment-resistant depression because probably 20 to 25% of population have this gene, and people with that gene cannot convert a regular folate into methylated folate. And methylated folate helps us to detox, stay young, deal with emotions, and so on and so forth. So because of that, that takes a special place in my heart, and as well as methylcobalamin. Those are 2 vitamins that are super important for all of your functions. So let's go here. So exercise. I mentioned that exercise helps us with a lot of stress management. Yes, so you went to exercise, you were angry, you went to the gym, you exercised, you have your endorphins going, and you are happy. So it's one positive way to deal with stress. Plus, when you exercise, you make your muscles move, and during that, we are creating hormones called myokines. Those are new types of hormone detected, and they help you with energy metabolism, inflammatory responses, and supports brain function and health. So it's very important, even if you are super tired, to have maybe 5 minutes of exercise several times a day if you can do that. The mitochondria are especially common in muscles. Mitochondria are our energy factories, and we help the energy factors, we help to increase the number of those mitochondria by exercising. But it's important to match our level of stress to the exercise. For example, if you are in an adaptation in the red stage where you are so tired, you cannot go and run marathon. It's not going to be good for you. In that case, you may want to just do some stretching. However, if you are in a stage of acute adaptation, going and running marathon will be great, or doing the heavy lifting will be great. So you have to match. And if you feel worse after exercising, it means it was too much for you. Don't over-exercise. Frequently with my patients where adrenals start crashing, I would ask them to actually reduce intensity of their exercise and do something more gentle on their bodies. So it's sleep. Sleep is super important. Afternoon nap increases brain learning activity by 15 to 20%. Sleep improves your memory, and if you don't have enough sleep, you tend to eat more and crave more salt. So if you have sleep deprivation, you are more likely to gain weight because you are more hungry. Nighttime sleep improves time to physical exhaustion and then exercise by 10 to 30%. So obviously we know sleep is good for us. We have different causes of sleep issues, including medications, issues with physical pain, depression, or in your cases, many of you probably have to get up because your kids may need your help, and you have to get up because of that. And of course, other people may have just sleep disorders. So chronic sleep deprivation causes fatigue, reduced ability to deal with stress, reduced attention span. So many of adult people come and say that they have ADD, and a lot of them probably do, but some of them most likely have sleep deprivation that causes them feel attention deficiency. Apparently, if you are sleep deprived, you will have episodes of microsleep, which can happen when you drive, which is scary, or it can happen during right now. You could be falling asleep, and that means that you are. I could be boring too, but it could be as well that you just have sleep deprivation. Then eventually it can reduce detoxing of brain. So you've probably heard about glyphatic system that helps us to drain the toxins from brain when we sleep. And if that doesn't happen, if you don't sleep well, then your brain gets clogged up with toxins. And that's bad, because then you start accumulating different proteins and eventually can get to point of having dementia, Alzheimer, and stuff like that. Then you could have high chance of obesity, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular system disease, and dementia and cancer. So napping. Napping is apparently very good. Depends how many, how often, how long. How many of you do napping, take naps? See, that's great. You could do power naps, 10 to 20 minutes. It reduces your sleepiness, improves your cognitive function, and so on. So you could take naps. If you nap, though, 2 to 4 hours, that's a little bit too excessive. It's usually my patients with adrenal insufficiency who cannot function properly, that's who take naps between 2 and 4 hours. But up to 90 minutes, that could be great. Our sleep cycle is about 45 minutes. And if you have like cycles of 45, 90 minutes, 1 hour and a half, those are good length of the sleep cycles. So that's nap. How do we improve sleep? So we reduce our coffee, alcohol, and certain medications, stimulants that definitely should help with the sleep. Complete any aerobic exercise at least 3 hours before bedtime. Avoid large meals and spicy food before bed. Finish eating at least 3 hours. You could have small snack, but not big meal. Carbs produce serotonin. So serotonin turns into melatonin. So you could have some carbs for your dinner and bedtime snack, but not too many. In general, we are over-carbed. Cannot say that because if we talk about Peru, natives, there is a native population there. They eat 500 grams of carbs, but 100 of that is fiber. How many grams of fiber do you guys eat? Probably 20, 15 to 20. Average American is happy to eat 15 to 20 grams of fiber. So anyway, back to sleep. Avoid drinking more than 8 ounces of fluid before bedtime, of course, because then otherwise you will be urinating half of the night. So schedule 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So kind of make sure that you have that on your calendar. Go to sleep, wake up same time if it's possible, and start preparing 30 minutes before the actual bedtime. If you can, avoid going to bed after 11 p.m. and avoid late afternoon naps. So you can take a nap at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, but don't take it at 5 or 6 p.m. Take hot salt, soda, aromatherapy bath. So if you take hot bath, when you get out of there, you will feel more cooled. And that cooling sensation apparently can trigger you to go to sleep, to create melatonin as well and help you to go to sleep. Keep bedroom cool at night. Light should be down. And before nighttime, try to switch from bright white light to more yellow and orange. That will help you with sleep too. Additional tips, bedding and pillows. Consider something, what I found for myself to help with the hip pains and back pain, pillow between legs or pillow between your arms, you can hug something. That apparently helps you to be aligned while you're in the bed, and then you are not straining your back and you are not much in pain. EMF and noise, so sound and electrical magnetic fields. EMF goes underdiagnosed, considered. So many people will be sensitive to that, and they will feel worse if they're surrounded by electromagnetic fields. But if they're removed from there, they're, for example, going for a walk in the nature and there is no high electricity tower, they will feel suddenly better. And it will be a recurrent motive for them. I have patients who I have to give them a statement that they have to have their smart meter removed from their houses because that smart meter blasts their house with EMF, and they're super sensitive. They develop headaches, they develop migraines, they develop fatigue, and many other symptoms. So avoid sleeping with electric blankets because of that, and avoid all of the electromagnetic field sources, at least 8 feet, but preferably even more. Tension, anxiety, reducing that. So it's interesting. I'm a person who needs to spill out at bedtime everything that I have inside. So I will be like, so what are we doing for the next 10 years? And my husband's like, ooh. So as a result, I am going to sleep and fell asleep because I already spilled my beans, and he starts thinking, what are we going to do in the next 10 years? So see how you do it, how your spouse or significant other is doing with that, but do whatever you can with a reduction of tension and anxiety. For different people, it's obviously different things. Supplements, melatonin, 5-HTP. 5-HTP needs to be, it's a precursor of serotonin. So if you are on SSRIs like Lexapro or something similar, you have to be careful. I usually try to measure the level of serotonin because that should help us to understand if it's safe to give that type of a supplement. Taurine is great. Magnesium is wonderful. We all probably have magnesium deficiency if you are not taking any magnesium additionally, because 8 years ago, our soil was much more rich. It was rich in magnesium, but since we have monoculture in the soil, people grow the same stuff year after year, it depletes the soil. Because of that, there is not enough magnesium and many other minerals. And because of that, we want to add magnesium. Again, check if you don't have any kind of kidney disease, because bad kidneys don't support magnesium. They cannot get rid of it. We don't want to accumulate. Glycinate is great for sleep, and there is the magnesium glycinate that will be combination of magnesium and glycine, and that helps us with the sleep. Then try to reduce nighttime stress, cortisol. You can use those ashwagandha, phosphorylate serine, lactum casein, and other L-theanine. I love L-theanine. It's great not only for nighttime, but for daytime. I give half of my staff in the office L-theanine just on a daily basis. Lemon balm, passion flower, valerian roots, those can come as a pill, so as tea, relaxation. Progesterone. For women of middle age, we start losing progesterone quickly. Not quickly, but after age 30, 35. And you could be still producing a lot of estrogen, but your progesterone is already tanked. And as a result, you could feel more anxious, you could have insomnia, and providing that progesterone could be helpful for you. So medical therapy, of course, can be used, but you have to be careful not to get addicted to that. And you can track your sleep. At this point, many people have heard about the Oura Ring, or maybe have that Oura Ring, and you can see all other type of apps, and there might be more at this point. It's good to track, because then you know actually what happens. And please, please, if you have snoring, get sleep study, because if you have sleep study, it means you could be waking up you could be waking up 20 times an hour, and you don't even know about that. Your oxygen in the brain can go down to 80 and 70 during those episodes. How good is that for our brain? It's not good. So tracking and finding out problems with sleep is super important. So as a conclusion, I just wanted to share with you that sleep, stress, exercise, important factors. Nutrition is important factors. Use any possible tool to improve that, to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, your kids, your significant others cannot have the best of you. You want to be a little bit selfish. It's okay, because that will help your loved ones to get best care they can, because you will be healthy. Okay? That's it.